My name is Avil Beckford, and this is the One Problem interview. I started this because it's near and dear to my heart. I interview my guests. They present one problem, just one. We know there are thousands, millions of problems in the world, but we're going to focus on just one. So she's going to talk about her problem and present a solution. And this is for all of us to learn. Now, my special guest today is Melanie Russell. I met Melanie about 20 years ago, actually, and I think it was at a CAWE event, Canadian Association of Women Executive and Entrepreneurs. So she is the founder of Kalex Valuations. Melanie, I turn it over to you now.
Thanks, Avril, and thanks for having me on. And by the way, I hate to tell you, I think it was way more than 20 years, but because it was before I had children. So I won't even tell you how old my kids are, but it had to be at least 25 years ago. So thanks for having me on, as I said. One of the problem, I'm not going to say it's my problem, but I've dealt with this personally, but also on behalf of clients. And so the problem I wanted to talk about is getting into business with someone else, or getting into a partnership, or anything with someone else. And it's kind of like having a friend that you decide to go and become roommates, or you decide to go on a trip together. You don't really know that person until you've lived with them, until you've been in business with them, until you've traveled with them. And you also can't predict all of the things that are going to happen during the course of being a partner with someone, or running a business with someone. So the easy way to deal with issues is to have some kind of, even an informal agreement, shareholders agreement, partnership agreement, whatever. Even if it's a memo to file where you lay out what the strategies are, what your objectives are, how to deal with the issues as they come up. If the company needs money, if someone dies, if someone wants to just leave the business, how do you deal with all these issues? So a very, very simple way to deal with things. And a lot of people are scared. It's almost like getting into a marriage. Starting a new business with someone, you don't want to bring up the idea of a shareholders agreement because you assume everything's going to run perfectly and you'll never have a dispute, or there will never be any problems, but there always are. And the amount of time and cost and angst involved in dealing with things when they go wrong, that could be easily overcome by simply having an informal agreement. It's really worthwhile. And even if you don't get a lawyer involved, like some people are scared to get an agreement together because they think it'll cost them tens of thousands of dollars. And they certainly can be expensive, but depending on the business, you may want to go with a simple memo to file that you both set out the basic structure of your go forward agreement and how to deal with problems or issues as they arise. So I think over to you, Abel.
Okay, so that was a short interview. So let's see. Is there anything else you could add?
Yeah, well, I'll expand it a little bit. You said one problem, but I see these as sort of similar problems, kind of like getting married and stepping into a partnership with someone, or a living common law. Same idea as getting into business with someone. Have an agreement, have something set out, and there are more emotions involved with getting together, if you want to call it a marriage contract or a cohab, whatever you want to call it, cohab agreement. And it takes, arguably, it may take some romance out of things, but with people getting married later and possibly bringing in different levels of wealth to the partnership, it's not a bad idea to just set out the terms and just get on the same page. And again, if things go wrong, and a lot of relationships do go bad, you'll at least have some kind of document that may help you get out of the situation, a bad situation, easier and more cost effective as well. So that's what I would add.
Yeah. So I actually see how these two are very much related because they're all about formalizing something, some sort of collaboration, partnerships. Because when you are getting into a relation with someone, it's also a partnership.
Right.
So these two, go hand in hand.
They
And the
do
same
go hand.
the same kind of solution you can use for both of them.
Right.
So that sounds really good. So thank you so much, Melanie.
You're welcome. Right. Thank you for having me.